morning, everyone. Thank you very much to be at this webinar. I'm Pauline Arami, Marketing Manager for Limagrain Ingredient, and we are going to present you in a few minutes this webinar. Let's just wait a few minutes to have everyone online. So thank you to be with us. So first of all attendees are you are all on mute, but you can send some question all during the presentation on the chat room, and we will answer to the question at the end of the webinar. If we don't have time, we will answer directly to you after the webinar, and of course, all this presentation will be sent after this webinar. So today, let's talk about pet food snack and treats with natural ingredients. So I'm Pauline Arami, a marketing manager for Limagrain Ingredient, and I'm going to present you just a few slides on Limagrain Ingredient, who we are, and some pet food trends in order to introduce our Prescope product and benefits for cookie recipes that are going to be presented by Chen Chen, our R&D and animal nutritionist. So first of all, Limagrain Ingredient, who we are, with one point which is really interesting for us is that we are the only company capable of ensuring control chain from the variety selection to the ingredient production, because we are owned by Limagrain, which is the fourth largest seeds company in the world. Then we can think about ingredient from the seeds to the flour or the ingredient made from this raw material. And we are a French company based in the middle of France. Some key figure from the year 2021-2022. Our turnover is around 180 million euros. We process more than 330,000 tons of cereal in 6 sites, 6 factories in France and Netherlands, and we are 350 employees. It's important also to know that we are doing food and feed and pet food. We have 6 then international markets for bakery, snacks, culinary food, breakfast cereal, and pet food and animal nutrition. And indeed, our ingredient range are from the wheat and maize, flour and grits, but also some bakery ingredient for improver and mixes, definitely for the bakery food industry. Some masa flour for snacks. A strong pillars in our range. It's the functional flours, which are flours which are heat treated in order to give them a lot of benefits like texturizing, etc. We have the range of puffed grain and toasted ingredient, and we are going to go more deeply in this range, and snack pellets, which is only for snacks producer. So to start this, just a quick market and trend overview of the pet food. These data are from Mintel, and it's for Europe. In this graphic, you can have on the left, it's the retail market per capita, and on the bottom, the compound annual growth rate. And the size of the bubble is the value of the market. So you can see here that Poland is the opportunity market with a strong focus growth, but the main huge market still France, Germany, UK, and Italy, with of course a slower growth. Just also a quick look on the trends. One of the huge trends in pet food is that the pet owner became more and more pet parents, and then they want to have nearly the same thing. They want to find same thing in pet food than they can have in their own food. So a huge point is the health and wellness. So they want to have that also in their in the pet food for their pets, and it goes until some foods with prebiotic for immune system, or digestive health, for example, or even high protein to make more muscles. So exactly like they can have for them. And of course, a lot of humanization. You have here an example of a birthday cake for a pet, so which is quite interesting. And as also is a global issue, sustainability is also a lot of interest for pet food, and more we can see some products with claim on the origin of the raw material, or the origin of where the product is made, like 100% made in Germany or whatever. So to highlight this sustainability. Also, some example for humanization and digitalization. As pet parents, as I said, transfer their eating habit to their pets. We can see some vegan biscuit for dogs. This on the left, it's veggie treats from Aston Cookies in France, and it's to have a drink with their master at the same time, and still a vegan cookie. You have also some cookie based on seaweed, so as some stuff that you can find in vegan food trends. Something also to notice in this, and especially in this treats market, it's that online sales are growing. And in this past year, nearly 15% of the pet products for treats of the purchase were done online. And to finish and to sum up, maybe the innovation opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities definitely in pet food, and as I said, it's a lot about health priority for their pets, a lot around sustainability also, and humanization, of course, which is here to stay. Chen Chen, I leave you the floor to explain more in detail our range and the benefits we can have.
Thank you, Pauline, for the informative introduction. I will take you guys to a journey to bake cookies for our dogs. Of course, yeah, we talked about sustainability. What is more sustainable than a cereal grain? First of all, let's have a look of the inside of a cereal grain. Then we understand more about the grains we use in our daily basis. Let's see the structure of a cereal grain from the left side to the right side. As you can see, the dark blue the granules stained in dark blue is starch granules. That's included in the endosperm. Mainly starch, of course. Around the starch, you can see some other colors. That's proteins or dietary fibers. Gradually, when you go to the right side, you have allular layer. It contains the most nutritious part of this cereal grain, vitamins, trace elements, dairy fiber, some other components as well. That's the reason, yeah, our human nutritionists recommend us to eat whole grain bread. Then you go further on the outmost sides of this grain, you have a fruit coat, or you can also call it a pericarp, which consists of soluble and insoluble fiber, which is really important for our intestinal health. So in total, you have the whole grain. It includes the fiber, the protein, trace elements. Of course, the main part of this grain is starch, the dark blue granules, starch. If you do whole grain, you have everything, even germ, a germ, which is not which you cannot see it here. You have everything is balanced. When you choose flour, for example, if we bake a bread, if you don't have the whole grain flour, you have only flour without the bran. Um, then if you go it further for the processing, via your purification, then you have a highly processed starch, yeah, which is not recommended to eat only starch as energy source. Then we go to the next slide. Let's see the difference between starch. Why we want to know the difference between the starch? Because when we want to use a starch to increase the digestibility, as well as to provide a health benefits for our dogs, we want to know the difference between starches. Then we can optimize our processing settings. For example, here you have the starch granules from corn, pea, wheat, rice. In general, when the starch particle size is bigger, you need higher temperature to reach optimal starch gelatinization degree. For example, for wheat, if you want to reach 50% of starch gelatinization, you need 53 Celsius degree. As for rice, although yeah, it's much smaller than wheat, it needs as high as 50 Celsius degree. So the bigger the particle size, the higher temperature is a general line. It has partial effects. You have to treat the different cereal grains individually to optimize the gelatinization as well as save other nutrients as well. For example, if we overheat a grain, the starch, the non-starch, the protein digestibility will be lower because of Maillard reaction. Then this side, I will show our processing technology, Presco. Of course, this is the most interesting part of this presentation, this technology. Presco stands for pressure cooking. It's a unique process for a unique pre-cooked cereal grain. It's based on calculated combination of pressure, steam, and time. The illustration on the left side show you how it goes. First of all, of course, we clean our grain. We have double cleaning process. Then the cleaned grain will go to the first chamber on this side, the first chamber. This chamber has high pressure and high temperature steam. The pressure is about 20 to 25 bars. You know, our normal atmosphere is 1 bar. So we have 20 to 25 bars. It depends on the cereals. Then the cereal will stay in the first chamber for a few seconds. Then the pressure will be reduced suddenly. Because of the reduce of the pressure, the grains were shot to the puffer barrel immediately. And you know, when with high pressure, the steam, the water in the cereal grain cannot evaporate. When they are shot to the puffer barrel, the steam evaporates immediately. The starch granules swells instantly as well. And because we know one more water occupies in liquid form occupies much less space than steam. When the steam evaporates, it digs holes into the starch granules. That's the process of starch gelatinization, which yeah, you can increase the digestibility. Then then the puffed grains will be processed for further, for example, to pelletize or to mill it, to flake it, you name it. And because of this process, we have pre-cooked starch, thanks to the natural process for a higher optimized digestibility. We know, yeah, the energy from grain source actually is the cheapest energy source. We want to spare the protein we feed our dogs to grow muscles, to do the maintenance, in order to burn it as energy source. It also has a great amount of dietary fiber for digestive health, especially yeah, you know, for human, as human we eat actually too less dietary fiber, and normally our dogs have the same issues. Yeah, I mentioned already, it provides cheap energy source, a great value of other nutrients. Thanks to the quick process, the grains will only stay in the chamber for a few seconds, then they will be puffed. Of course, you have a wide range of raw materials with great smell and taste you can choose from. And with this, we did some tests with our dogs from our colleagues. We didn't do any coating, any aroma. They just love it. So it's naturally palatable for our dogs. Then we go to the, yeah, this is the puffed cereal. It's based on corn. On the bottom right side, you can see like popcorn product. It's Presco pet puffed. Then you move to the left bottom, you have Presco pet flakes. Then you have pelleted version, or you can also have meal. I don't know if you guys know what's the difference between flour and meal. You call a grain meal. It's not only the particle size you grind it. It's also it's a whole grain, with fiber, with protein, with everything. When you have flours, normally it's without the bran part. So the fiber, the protein, the majority of the protein is just gone. Then we go further to look at the internal structure of a cereal grain when it's native and after Presco process. On the left side, as you can see here, starch granules are circled. The top one is from wheat, the bottom one from barley. Wheat is more round, the starch granules. In this photo, you can see in native grains, the internal structure is compact with intact starch granules embedded with other components. And after Presco, on the right side, the crystalline structure of grain is totally broken down. It's more porous, which makes the starch and fiber more available to our beloved friends. The same for barley. This is a whole kernel. It's intact kernel. We look at the inside. Then you can also have a look on the milled version. It's the same. You don't see any intact starch granules anymore. That means 100% gelatinized. Then we will start to bake the cookies. First of all, I will show you this to know the functionality of a Presco processed corn. It's the milled version, Presco baby corn, compared with the native maize flour. As we can see from the left side, I put 20 gram of water into 30 gram of products. On the left side, you don't see any binding effects, no cold viscosity. On the right side, um, mm, it has Presco baby corn melt. It has good word absorption and consistency, which is important to make cookies because we want to have a flat dough. If you don't have this consistency, you cannot make dough. Then the second, the following slide showed this. This is a really simple recipe. It's with the baby rice melt, 250 gram, and water and oil. On the right side as well, but on the left side, it has only 50 gram more water. Then you can form a really nice laminated dough. But on the right side, you can't. So your recipe is important, especially the ones when you don't think about it, like water, the most cheaper ingredient. Actually, it has really great influence on your processability. Then this slide shows a different dough formed with different Presco products, baby corn melt, rice and barley, as well as high energy. High energy is 50% of barley, 50% of corn. With the right recipe, you can all the products can make really cohesive dough to be furtherly formed to cookies. Then this slide shows the cookies we made after baking. Of course, yeah, we have a wide range to meet all your needs. Either you choose corn, then the color, yeah, is the corn color. It's nice, attractive color. Or baby rice melt. It's made with party rice, so it has both a soluble and insoluble fiber. Then baby barley has more fiber inside, so you can see the fibrous appearance of this cookie. Or you can choose high energy. That's a mixture of corn and barley. Of course, we in order to make better cookies, we are developing new products. A finer milled Presco. It's the same process, the same ingredients. You have the same nutrition value, but with a smoother appearance, as you can see here. The baked cookies is because when you milled finer, the fiber particle size is finer as well. After only puffing, the length or particle size of starch stays actually the same. Only after pelleting of or further milling, you have it finer. And this recipe is really simple. Only with our baby corn finer milled, 200 grams of water, than some glycerol. So you can really make a really simple, with based on simple recipe, you can make cookies. Then next slide. This slide shows the summary of all the cookies I baked. Depends on the characteristics you can choose from. The first the first four are the Presco processed ingredients. The rest of these ingredients are from other line. I didn't show it here because of the time is limited, but I still put it here. Afterwards, we will share these slides with you. When you do your cookie baking, you can see which ingredient you want to choose from. Of course, you can choose a cereal grain. You can also choose non-cereal, for example, this pet flour pea or rice. It's a cereal, but without gluten. And for all these products, I made a comparison. More cross is better. For what a good water retention, as you can see, yeah, the pet flour is the best, even compared to the Presco. But Presco baby milk is also quite good. Then for the dough, cohesive dough, of course, yeah, if you want to bake cookies or make other shapes, you want to have a cohesive dough to work from, then the Presco range is the best compared to pet flour range. Then for the stability, after the cookie is cooled, then we did some falling test. We dropped the cookies from 1.5 meter high to see if how many is broken. We can see Presco has the best stability even without any added native wheat flour. Of course, with the native wheat flour, it's more stable. In general, it's more stable. But nowadays, this gluten-free trend, we tend to not to choose something contain gluten. Of course, for if you only bake cookies with the native flour, especially native wheat flour, you have really hard cookies like stone if you don't use any leavening agent. But for Presco, you don't need that leavening agent or other either baking soda or yeast. You have naturally stable and a porous structure. It's porous but still stable. Then this table, this slide to sum up what we can do with our Presco range. Although I only showed the cookie baking, you can also use Presco to make semi-moist or dry trees, or of course the cold pressed dog food, as well as dental sticks. Even in a moist application, you can still use Presco. It depends, yeah, what you want. because it has naturally cold viscosity. Then yeah, that's it. That's my presentation. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you, Chen Chen. Then don't hesitate to ask question on the chat. Maybe we have one. Chen Chen, could you explain more precisely what happens to fiber components after Presco process?
Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned a little already about the fiber components after Presco. The Presco itself will blow up the different layers of a fiber, but it doesn't do much on the particle size of fiber. We need a finer particle size. We also need some a bigger particle size for the intestinal health effect. Um, so it stays, the particle size stays the same. However, the solubility is increased because in the native grains, all the fiber components are attached to each other, so it's impact structure. But when after press, it blow up the soluble part, the insoluble part, so you have more the digestive enzyme have more accessibility to this fiber part. So we did some tests. It does increase the soluble part of this fiber. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Maybe another one before closure. Could you precise why Presco is great for a dental stick, which is also a huge, yeah, an important product for treats for dogs?
Yeah. For dental sticks, of course, only use Presco. It will not work so well because for dental sticks, you really need to have the plastic phase of starch. Then for Presco, it has a higher particle size. After finer milled version, it will work better, but only with the Presco. The sticks will not be as chewy as the one with our pet flour. So the combination with the Presco and pet flour is the best to make dental sticks, and you can also make whole grain dental sticks out of it. It has the elastic. It can be elastic enough to for dogs to bite, clean the teeth, while not break down so easily. With only Presco, it tend to break quickly than with the combination. The combination is the optimized recipe for dental sticks. Yes, thank you, Pauline.
Thank you, Chen Chen. Just the
Do we?
very last one, which is, do you have a pea product for grain-free recipes? I think so.
Yes, I think I can show you here this slide. We have Pet Flower 2505. It's based on pea. So you can contact one of our sales colleagues to ask a quotation or whatever, or you can contact me to ask a recipe, then to bake it in your line. If you need any samples from these cookies, or you need any samples of our product to bake your have your own recipe, please contact us info ingredients at limagrain.com.
Thank you very much, and thank you all. Hope this webinar will interested you. Then you're going to have the slides just afterwards, and don't hesitate to contact us.
Yes, great. Thank you. We are right on time. I think there's another. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.